All right, we're here for another conversation with Glenn. I got Glenn Beck and Tiffany Siegel and Dan Andros here with you. And Glenn, you had a moving experience. You said it was a unique movie experience, seeing American Sniper and knowing your relationship with the Kyle family. And you sat with, Taya, Chris's wife during this movie. Just wanted to.
It was weird because I said,
I want to talk a little bit more about what that was like for you.
I said that as we were going in, I said to Hannah, because I asked Hannah, my second oldest daughter, to come with me. And so it was kind of a father-daughter date. And we went, and she's a sensitive, all my girls are really kind of sensitive. And
shocking.
I know.
Who Dad is.
I know. And so anyway, so we were talking about it, and I said that, last time I saw a movie like this, it was Lone Survivor,
sure.
And we sat next to Marcus Luttrell, and I couldn't speak to him. I really couldn't speak after that movie for about 45 minutes because of my deep relationship with Marcus. And he was sitting right here.
You slipped him a note, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, I wrote him a note, and because I couldn't speak to him. So we sat there in the theater, and I got up and I hugged him. And at first I sat there for a while, and I tried to just get control of myself to where I could speak and say something to him, and I realized I couldn't. So I wrote a note to him, and then I stood up and I hugged him, and I bet you he hugged me for 5 minutes at least. And we both just cried. And I gave him the note, and then I left the theater. And I couldn't speak for about 45 minutes. And so I was telling Hannah, I said, last time it was with Marcus Luttrell. So we go to this premiere, and what's his name? Bradley Cooper is there. Everybody is there.
Did you get to talk to Bradley Cooper or not?
No, he was kind of in and out.
Yeah. And
so Taya was up with Bradley Cooper, and they introduced the movie, and it's a big theater. I don't know, 1,000 people there, or 800 people there, something like that. And it's packed, but there's a seat open next to me, next to Hannah and I, and it's all marked. 3 of them are marked Beck. And so we sit down, and I'm like, oh, they must have thought no, Taya had intended on sitting next to us, which I'm glad I had Hannah sit there so I wasn't sitting next to Taya, because I heard, I was listening to my daughter do that several times, and I was listening to Taya do that, and then Taya is, starting to sob, and my daughter is sobbing, but she's trying not to cry until, for Taya.
Sure.
And we walk out, and I didn't realize how much it impacted my daughter until the door closed. We went out by the exit right by the screen, and that's kind of in the alleyway in the back. And so we went out that way, and the door closed, and as soon as that door closed, Hannah just broke down. It was powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
You said you had a sort of a different reaction than
I was
you did
angry
with Marcus's movie. Yeah.
I was angry.
And that's less to do with the movie, right? Like less to do with the movie, and maybe more.
To do with us.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing? I don't even know what we're doing anymore. How are we scarring these guys? You can't go through that and come back normal. None of these guys are coming back normal. I mean, I have a security detail. We have 6 guys on my security detail. They're all cut from that. They all went. They all have done that.
Sure.
One of the guys is a good friend of Chris Kyle's brother. Okay, so in the movie you'll see Chris Kyle's brother, and he's just shell-shocked. Well, one of my guys was in the same unit. They were on the same team over there, and he said that's not how he reacted to it. So the movie's not accurate on that, but he's on the same team. And I said, how do you guys come back normal? And the response was, sir, we don't. None of us come back normal. And how are we doing this? Where is international answer? Remember? Oh, we have to have 1 million people in Central Park. That was about George Bush. That's obscene. That's obscene.
They have changed, but our guys have been the same guys the whole time.
Whole time.
The
And you know
best
what's
and
amazing to me is we're rotting. You look at the stats. Who's sending their boys to war? It's us.
Yeah.
It's the Tea Party people. It's the constitutionalists. It's the people who actually believe in the values and the principles. And what's happening? 14 years we have rotted 2 generations. We've just rotted them out. They're taking our best and our brightest, and we're destroying them, putting them through the meat grinder, giving them nothing, giving them a whole life of, what did I do? Was that worth it? Does it mean anything? What are we doing? I mean, and I don't believe this, but thinking out loud, if you happen to believe that a lot of people were, against Tea Party values and principles, and you were trying to fundamentally transform, it works to your advantage to do this.
Yeah.
Because you're just destroying them.
Yeah.
You're destroying the next generation of us.
So let me ask you this question. Rafe turns 18.
No.
And says, Dad,
No.
I want to go sign up for the military.
He's 18, he can decide himself, but I'm not for it.
We want to switch gears here, to stick within our umbrella topic of movies this week.
I know. It kills me. You guys are both in television. We're sitting here under this marquee, but you can't see that we're under.
Well,
a
maybe
marquee.
we're going to get a shot from the back of your head later, and you just don't know about it.
I blame Sean.
Yeah.
It's a movie theme.
Movie theme. Another movie you saw last week, and your reaction got a lot of attention, was Selma. This Monday is MLK Day. We just wanted to get a sense of why you felt the need to see that movie, and you were so passionate about it. I think
Everybody
Hollywood
should
Reporter
see that
picked it
movie.
up. They were shocked that you
That
recommend.
is so offensive to me.
Yeah.
That is so
I saw that. Hollywood
offensive.
Reporter, like, can you believe it? Even Glenn Beck likes it.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought he would have been like,
That belongs. Martin Luther King belongs to all of us. Martin Luther King is part of American history, not black history, not leftist history, American history. And we should all understand that. The problem with Martin Luther King is his image has been hijacked by the uber left. And so there's a lot of people like me that didn't know much about Martin Luther King because I didn't grow up in the 1960s. I mean, I was born in 1964, so I didn't grow up with all of that strife.
Sure.
I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't have that. Our problem, if there was a problem, was in my grandparents' day with Asians, Japanese. That's where the racist played itself out in World War II, was with the Japanese. So we didn't have that strife. So I don't know much about the 1960s civil rights movement other than what I learned in school, and then what all the leftists tried to do with Martin Luther King and say he's a communist and everything else. I want every single American to go watch this movie because he provides the only answer to our problems. He, at one point, and I'm surprised they left this in the movie, at one point he gets down on his knees. He's on the bridge in Selma. And they open it up and say, go ahead, march. He knows something's wrong. So he stands there for a while and you can see him thinking. And then he gets down on his knees and everybody gets down on their knees. He prays, he stands up, he doesn't say a word, he turns the other way and doesn't march. Well, now he is in a whole bunch of trouble because he's just asked everybody, all these white people, come to Selma, make sure you march with us. Now all these people have taken all their time to march, and there's no march. And he's sitting in this room with a group of people, and they're all mad at him. They're like, what have you done? He said, I don't know. It didn't feel right. We're not supposed to do it. So I didn't do it. Where are those people? Where are those people? Where are the people when you'll see somebody comes and they have reason to get guns? It's not us. The Tea Party is a long way away from the problems that they were facing. I think the next generation is going to be the one that has to struggle with it. But they had a reason to get guns. And his people are like, are you crazy? Let's just think this one through with their tanks, with their helicopters, with their machine guns.
Okay.
What do you think you're going to do? You'll lose all sympathy and everybody will be killed. It didn't work. And Martin Luther King did not do, there was no guns, it was God. And the other thing that I find interesting is he didn't set people up like, these people, like that guy in California, this video that came out this week, it really bothers me.
yeah, me too. Yeah.
He goes out and he's selling the 22 bullets on the street. Okay, good, you have a right to do that, good. Why do you have to be a jerk about it?
Yeah.
There's no sympathy. I'm not joining your cause when you treat police officers like crap. I can get that from the leftists.
Right. The cop's just trying to do his job. I mean, people were calling, so he's going to check it out. I mean,
And the same thing with Martin Luther King. When he went in and there were good cops and they treated people and they took them out and they treated them exactly the way they were supposed to be treated, There's nothing he could do there.
Right. Yeah. Why can't you have a conversation? Why can't we have a conversation? Why can't
Correct.
this guy talk and just talk to
Correct.
the officer and say, "Hey, here's my right," and
Correct.
you can look it up.
Correct.
And then if the guy oversteps his bounds and starts taking things away from him, then you've got a problem.
When
then you
Martin
deal
Luther
with it.
King went to Selma and he knew this cop is bad, all he did, he marched everybody to the courthouse. We're going to go register to vote. We have a right to do it. You go use the back door. No, we have a right to go through that door. And he's calm and he's collected. They're down on their knees.
We've lost that restraint.
We've lost all of it.
Yeah.
That's the key. Everybody should see Selma.
One last movie, Little Boy.
Love.
We wanted to end on a higher note today. So you.
I just went up, in our screening room. We have a
Uh-huh.
screening room here in the studios, and I went up to the screening room and I screened part of it with the American Dream Labs, and I said, "This is the target. This is where we should be. This is the goal for us. This is a brilliant, brilliant movie. It is, to me, the way faith movies should be. I think faith movies lose because A, Hollywood is doing them, and so Moses is a bad guy that doesn't believe in God, and Noah wants to kill his family on the ship to save the earth. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, so nobody's watching that faith movie. Then the other faith movies that come out are all like, well, I don't believe in God, and I'm a drug dealer because I don't believe in God.
It's preaching to the choir.
Yeah, it's so insulting.
Right, it's hitting you over the head with a hammer, and
Nobody
it's just.
knew it was going to come to that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? This movie is magic. It is truly magical. It is absolutely in the style. I think it's the new gold standard for faith movies. The message is there, but it doesn't hit you over the head with a bag of bricks. It's beautifully done, beautifully shot, well written, really well acted, great actors involved
How
in
did
it.
Rafe react to it?
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Good. So 3 movies you want people to see? All 3?
My wife wants to go see The Hobbit. I've already seen it, and I keep trying to. My answer is yes, dear. Okay, we'll go because she really wants to see it. But that movie just pisses me off because that's. And it does. It's 3 hours long with about 40 minutes of story. I mean, Peter Jackson.
Kind of like your radio show.
You got yes.
Whoa!
Zing. Peter Jackson just got greedy.
Okay. All right, so that's Glenn's movie critique for the week. Enjoy your
That's
weekend.
how I roll.